The Canadian government's handling of taxpayer money this past year has been nothing short of a financial circus. While our hard-earned dollars are meant to serve the interests of the community and improve our lives, we have witnessed a jaw-dropping display of extravagance and mismanagement. From frivolous trips to ridiculously inflated bonuses, it seems that government priorities are starkly out of touch with the reality faced by the average Canadian. Buckle up as we delve into the most outrageous examples of wasteful spending this year, which, quite frankly, will leave you outraged. First on the list, the government's astronomical expenditure of $3 million to send 193 delegates to the COP28 summit in Dubai. Yes, you read that right. While many Canadians struggle to make ends meet, our leaders jet off in luxury, wasting taxpayer dollars on an overblown delegation that most Canadians never asked for. Prime Minister Trudeau's 4-day food bill during a trip to Italy and Switzerland totaled a staggering $71,000. That's not all. His G20 adventure in India incurred another $600,000 of taxpayer expenses, including $35,000 for in-flight catering and $55,000 for accommodations. This kind of spendthrift behavior raises disturbing questions. Is this leadership or blatant disregard for the citizens footing the bill? In a shocking demonstration of opulence, the Governor General's week-long excursion to the Middle East cost taxpayers approximately $1 million. This includes a mind-blowing $100,000 for in-flight catering alone. With luxury accommodations that exceed $1,000 per night, we have to wonder, who is this truly benefiting? Consider the $3.5 billion in CEBA loans handed out to ineligible businesses. In this climate of economic strain, it's absurd that our government would allow such reckless spending. Meanwhile, another $1 billion was squandered on expired or surplus COVID-19 tests and vaccines. How does this happen? It's a slap in the face to millions of Canadians who suffered under the weight of the pandemic. The much-maligned ArriveCAN app, initially budgeted at a paltry $80,000, has ballooned to a staggering $54 million in development and maintenance costs. Now it sits useless and outdated. This isn't just waste, it's an egregious insult to taxpayers who expect accountability. In a time when Canadians face skyrocketing living costs and declining services, the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation, CBC, awarded $18.4 million in bonuses. Yes, bonuses. They dished out $3.3 million to executives averaging $73,000 each, all while cutting jobs and losing viewer trust. This insanity continues as the Canadian Mortgage and Housing Corporation frivolously dispensed $27.3 million in bonuses amid our dire housing crisis. Can you believe it? Federal employees received an outrageous $1 billion in bonuses, even in departments notorious for underperformance, once again proving that the government is not held accountable for its actions. With the shift to remote work, the federal government is now wasting another $1 billion annually on unused office spaces, alongside $60 million to equip employees for working from home. Meanwhile, conservative estimates suggest that redundant employees are costing taxpayers around $500 million every single year. Staggering, isn't it? $35 billion was allocated to the Canada Infrastructure Bank, yet it continues to attract criticisms for inefficiency and secrecy. Instead of serving the public good, it appears to be nothing more than another government slush fund. Our global image takes yet another hit, as Global Affairs Canada wasted $3.2 million over 5 years on copious amounts of alcohol, including $800,000 on top-shelf wine and spirits. At the same time, this department squandered $186 million on maintaining properties worldwide, revealing a laughable misalignment of priorities. We frittered away $8.4 billion in foreign aid, of which $5.3 billion was devoted to international climate adaptation projects, yet we can't even take care of our own citizens. A further $2.4 billion went into loans to Ukraine, and $200 million was spent on promoting gender equity in developing countries, all while Canadian needs take a back seat. Who can forget the $600 million earmarked for the gun buyback program? Despite spending $100 million, it has resulted in 0 firearms collected. This isn't just waste, it's an utter failure of policy. In a laughable irony, $5 billion was subsidized to Honda to create 1,000 electric vehicle manufacturing jobs. That's $3.5 million per job. In contrast, the average lifetime earnings for a Honda worker is just $2.8 million. You have to wonder how this is justifiable. The Ottawa LRT expansion is yet another example of fiscal folly, with $3.5 billion wasted on cost overruns and delays. Meanwhile, a $4 billion Indigenous housing fund failed to accomplish even 10% of its targeted progress. The CRA even paid $40 million to hackers exploiting vulnerabilities in their systems. As if that weren't enough, another $40 million was spent on producing digital content, like podcasts, met with almost no public engagement. It's a comedy of errors that stings. And let's not forget the $8,800 granted to a German art exhibit featuring adult toys and the $30,000 wasted on the abysmal Experience Regina rebranding project. It's beyond comprehension that our tax dollars are being used in such ridiculous ways. To top it all off, a jaw-dropping $3 million was dropped on external consultants for climate policy, and $15 million was spent imploring citizens not to fall for climate misinformation, coupled with around $100 million on public relations campaigns to fluff government credibility. It's a slap in the face to taxpayers who deserve better. For all the billions squandered on lavish trips and extravagant bonuses, with results bordering on ineffectiveness, it's glaringly clear that the government is desperately out of alignment with the needs of the communities they profess to serve. As we look toward 2025, let's hope for a shift in leadership that prioritizes accountability, transparency, and genuine improvement for the people of Canada. The time for change is now. Let's demand responsible governance. Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments below. How do you feel about this ridiculous spending by the Trudeau government, especially when so many Canadians are struggling to feed and house themselves? It's disheartening to see our tax dollars wasted on extravagant expenses while our own citizens face hardships. We want to hear your opinions on this troubling issue. If you enjoyed this video, please consider liking it to let us know so we can focus more on these important issues. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. It would help us out more than you might know. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video.